Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond. My name is Hill. Welcome back to the OverAchievers Podcast, episode 27, Survivors Guild. Joining me today is our very welcome and very, I don't want to say common, but I guess most common appearance. Please help me welcome John.
It's me, it's the common John. Man of the people,
to be fair, John is a pretty common name.
That's true. Not how I spell it, though. Jon. That's an uncommon
I feel like that's,
John.
but if you go to England, or like, the UK in general, I don't know how common the name John is there, but if you're going to find someone named John, it feels like it's spelled that way.
Really? No, I think like John is quite common for the UK.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just the other major channel that I watch, Mini True Nerd, also spells it Jon.
Yeah, well, he's a copier.
So I just kind of assumed it was a UK thing.
I think I came first.
He's like at least 6 years older than you? He's mid-30s?
Yeah, but did he start? When did he start his channel?
I'd have to check that.
Come on, 2013 is a long time. Some of us have been doing this for a third of our lives, which is horrifying to say, Taylor.
His oldest video, according to YouTube, is 10 years old.
Okay.
So I don't know. It must fall between the 10 and 11 space.
This is Many a True Nerd, right?
Yes.
Okay, he made his channel on May 9th, 2013, which is literally like 2.5 months after I made mine.
Oh, wow, okay.
Amazing.
Okay. So technically, you're the older on YouTube, but he's the older in real life.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I started calling myself John when I was like 13?
Wait, what did you go by before that? David?
Jonathan. My full legal
Oh.
name, my passport name.
Man, nobody goes by, like, the full name
I
when you're
did.
named Jonathan.
Until 13.
What?
I didn't know better. I didn't
You're
know
a
you could just pick
nerd.
your name. This is a video game
Okay.
podcast where we talk about video games.
And names, apparently. Okay, so I guess speaking of names, John, what is the name of the video game you're going to be talking about today?
That was a hell of a segue.
Hey.
The video game I'm going to be talking about that I recently got all achievements for is the one, the only Vampire Survivors.
You mean the thing that has 1 million clones?
Yes, yeah, it's pretty much it's one of the first. I'm just going to call them bullet heavens for like all my notes because I don't know. It's a good descriptor for it, but
That's fair.
It's literally like the opposite of a bullet hell. In a bullet hell, you, the player, are dodging a ton of projectiles. In a bullet heaven, you, the player, are sending out a ton of projectiles for the most part and mowing down waves of enemies. Super satisfying. Vampire Survivors was one of the first games to do it and is the game that really popularized the genre and kicked off a whole movement that's been going for the last year and a half, maybe?
Yeah, a couple of years almost.
Yeah, maybe 2 years, yeah.
Well, I mean, it was started by a guy who I think he either worked on slot machines or like did something related to gambling, so he understood how to make it addictive, which is why it really popped off at first.
Yeah.
That and like the super low price point.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's what, like $4 Canadian or something like that to buy it, like, full price.
Yeah, which is insane.
And like it like you said, it was like getting popular. I think it was like mid last year, like July, or like summer 2023. I picked it up. Oh no, it must have been summer 2022. I picked it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely not summer 2023. There was no way it was that recent.
No, because it would have been my game of the year if I'd played it last year, or if it had come out last year.
Oh god.
So yeah.
Wait, Elden Ring came out last year.
Elden Ring also came out 2022.
Oh, did it? Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So yeah, I think I picked it
Old.
up like summer 2022. Played like 10 minutes, and I was like, this is neat, and then didn't play it again until like Christmas of that year, and then I like got hooked on it.
Oh god. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, can you give us just the briefest overviews? What is this game? How do you play it? What do you have to do?
Okay, so like I said, it's a bullet heaven. You pick one of many characters. This game at least has a ton of characters. You have to survive waves of enemies while you collect weapons and passive buffs and upgrades for those weapons and passive buffs. And you basically aim to survive as long as you can. In Vampire Survivors, you typically need to survive 30 minutes. Some of the stages only need you to survive 20 minutes, but for the most part, you're aiming to survive 30 minutes.
Okay.
Just something I need to note about like the achievements in this game right off the bat, because it's going to come up quite a bit. The achievements, when you satisfy the requirement for them during a run, it doesn't tell you until after you've finished the run, whether you like finish the stage or whether you die. I don't fully know why they do that, possibly just so, you know, it doesn't distract you while you're playing and like maybe trying to focus on something. But like typically you'll finish a run, and especially when you're starting to go for achievements, you'll get like 4 or 5 Steam achievements all popping at the end. So it's quite satisfying in that way.
Nice. Okay.
And I guess one other thing, just as something I need to like say about the game before we like fully dive into it, is that in-game unlocks are like fully tied to achievements, and we'll probably expand on that a little bit as we go, but achievements are literally essential to this game.
Fair. Okay, that's good to know. Speaking of other contextual information that is important, we are recording this episode at near the end of May 2024. So for both John's game and mine, many updates come out on a not so like irregular basis. You could say they're pretty common. And unfortunately, with those updates come even more achievements. So we may not have all achievements at the time this episode goes out, though we will try to remedy that as quickly as we can. Be understanding that at the time of this recording, we do have all achievements.
Yeah, so I actually wrote my notes for this episode, I think like very early May. And between writing those notes and recording this episode, an update did come out and added something like 10 or 11 new achievements.
Oh god.
I think it was like 12 achievements. So yeah, like I did literally have to revise my notes for this episode, like before we recorded it, because it got more achievements, like Taylor just said.
Yeah, I saw that it was like some gun update or something, and I was like, does John have to deal with this now? Is this?
Funnily enough, the gun update was a DLC, but because it's a collaborative DLC, it doesn't have Steam achievements. But literally like 2 weeks before the DLC came out, there was another free update that added like these 12 new achievements.
Huh.
So like the DLCs, like even if they don't have Steam achievements, do have in-game achievements. For the sake of this episode, I'm just talking about Steam achievements, not the in-game achievements, because there's stuff I still haven't done for like the in-game achievements. So there's still stuff I haven't unlocked, but I've got all the Steam achievements, and I think that's what matters for this podcast.
Yeah, for today, that's what we'll focus on. Now, later, we'll talk about these. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, God.
Okay. So, how many achievements does the game have at the time of recording?
So, as of May 2024, it's up to 211 achievements.
Okay.
Which is...
Okay, that's not as many as I was expecting.
It's not like a ton for this genre, it seems, but like compared to our average, which we've been saying is like 40 to 50, it's quite a lot compared to a lot of the games we normally talk about.
Okay. So obviously you've already answered that, you know, this was not your first time playing. You didn't just jump right into it with the intention of getting all achievements, but I'm curious, what encouraged you to do so? What kind of got you hooked on getting them?
Yeah, like I said, like I played like a little bit when I first picked it up. It didn't hook me instantly. I think I was just kind of in the middle of other games and didn't want to start it up. And then I think I was on Christmas break or something. Like I had like a week off, so like I thought I would try it again. Especially because it was a really good game for Steam Deck. Runs really well on Steam Deck, and Steam Deck was great for if you're just like sitting around with family in the living room or whatever. You can just like pop on a game of Vampire Survivors for 10 minutes or something. Yeah. And so then I like started getting hooked on it a bit. Don't think I really... I mean, even when I started, there were way more achievements than I normally go for.
That's fair.
So, yeah, I don't think I like seriously considered all achievements until probably this year. I think this year is when I like finally decided to buckle down and go for it.
Oh wow, what changed? What brought on that decision?
I think it's like, I naturally got a lot of the achievements just playing, and like I said, because in-game unlocks are tied to achievements, in order to unlock the strongest characters and unlock every stage, you're naturally going to be unlocking the achievements. So
Fair.
in order to see as much of the game as you possibly can, you're going to be putting in the work to unlocking the things and then getting the achievements. So you can't fully play the game without naturally going for the achievements, I guess.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you returned to the game since getting all achievements? Like, in between more like content releasing, do you still play the game, or do you kind of hold off, knowing more stuff is coming out?
No, I got all achievements for the most recent update, and then also went back to it after that already, even though that was only like 2 weeks ago. Especially because the new DLC came out, so I like just recorded a video on it. I'm planning on getting all the unlocks for that and the previous collaborative DLC that don't have Steam achievements. Like, I haven't put as much time into those two because they weren't giving me Steam achievements, but I'm planning on getting all the unlocks for those two anyway. So yeah, I have played more of it since getting all achievements, and I'm going to continue playing more of it.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, I want to call you an absolute lunatic, but I can't after what I'm going to say in my episode.
I mean,
my portion.
There's just so much playability to this game. Like, there's so many stages, and like stages that I've like barely scratched the surface of. So like, even when I've unlocked everything, I could still hop in and play stuff. It'd be easy enough.
Huh. That's fair. So, how much time have you put into the game?
So at the time of getting all achievements, it was 55.7 hours. It's now past that because I recorded a video on the new DLC. But last time I got all achievements was 55.7 hours.
That strikes me as way less than I was expecting.
It's not too bad. Like, yeah, when you consider 211 achievements, not terrible.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty good time, and especially with every every game being about half an hour, 20 minutes to half an hour, does not strike me as a hell of a lot, like, overall.
Yeah, I mean, like, even though, like, the run timer is 30 minutes, it usually takes you about, like, 45 minutes, because there's, like, menuing and stuff, and, like, choosing your upgrades and stuff like that adds to the overall time.
Makes sense, yeah.
But yeah, like, especially kind of like late early game, mid game, you know, when you're getting like 4 or 5 achievements per run, yeah, that's like 4 or 5 achievements for every 40 minutes kind of thing. So yeah,
okay,
like
that's not bad.
It kind of steamrolls a bit.
Is it because you have it on Steam? Was that a pun?
No, but it should have been.
Oh, it should have been. Okay, so what were the hardest and easiest achievements for you?
Oh wait, I just wanted to say, how long to beat is like getting less useful, it feels like, as we keep doing these episodes.
Oh, that's fair.
So like, it says completionist is 47 hours, but like, you know, it takes the stats from people putting their times in. So like, there's probably people who put their times in like a year ago when there were not 211 achievements. So like, the fact that it says 47 hours is not helpful.
That's fair. How many people did it poll, though?
Oh, I didn't actually look at that. I should have.
Because, like, I'm looking at my game, which I'll get to in a bit, and you already know it based on the title. I've got 27.
Only 27?
Like 27 people.
Oh my god. Where do we see that? Oh, I see.
If you just type in, it'll say, like, how many for each category, and then if you just go to, like, all playstyles, how many did they poll?
1,300.
Okay, that's a much more reasonable sample size than 27.
Yes, 27, jeez. So interestingly, I looked at the Wayback Machine Internet Archive for the Steam store page.
Okay.
May 2024, it's got 211 achievements. When it launched in early access, December 2021, it had 23 achievements.
Oh, Jesus.
In January 2022, a month later, it was up to 35 achievements.
Okay.
And then by July 2022, so about 6 months after it launched in early access, it was already up to 120.
Oh god.
So
okay.
like any time over this time, people could have been getting all achievements. Like if they'd got all achievements in December 2021, probably took them like 3 hours because it's 23 achievements.
Oh god, that's insane.
So it is.
I hate that.
It's just crazy how much the number of achievements has changed over time, like going from 23 to 211.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. That is an interesting change. Yeah, that ballooned like crazy.
Yes, yeah, it sure did.
Okay, so wow. So I guess of those, what were the hardest and easiest? Like, where did you find like earlier achievements harder, like ones that were in the game early, or ones that were in the game more recently?
Oh, all like the recent additions are so easy for me at this point. There's meta progression to the game, so like you get coins and use coins to unlock permanent stat upgrades for your characters, like more health, more health recovery, stuff like that. So like, yeah, when a new update comes, even if it's like 12 achievements, I get it in like 2 runs usually.
That's insane. What?
It's super easy now. Like there's nothing. You can always make the game more challenging by just like messing with settings. But yeah, like right now it's not challenging anymore.
That's nuts. What the hell?
So that being said, the hardest achievements for me were some of like the earliest ones. Like normally, to get an idea of like what I'm gonna put as my hardest achievement, I look at like the rarest ones, like go on Steam and like sort by who's got the most achievements and go near the bottom and like start looking at those and being like, oh yeah, that one was pretty hard. But in this case, the hardest stuff was all at the start of the game when you weren't super strong and didn't have all the meta upgrades. Yeah.
Okay.
So easiest, I said, is one of the ones from really early in the game, because the easiest one I said was Hollow Heart, which is where you have to survive 1 minute with any character. And even if you're terrible at the game, you can easily survive a minute. Like nothing insane happens in the first minute. All the enemies move so slowly, do little damage. As long as you vaguely move your character, you're guaranteed to survive a minute.
Fair.
For hardest, I put Gallo Tower, Gaio Tower, I don't know how they pronounce it. But for this one, you have to reach level 60 in Dairy Plant. Dairy Plant is the... I think it's the 3rd level you unlock. And that's kind of when it started getting really difficult for me. So like to unlock the 2nd level, you have to reach level 20 in the 1st level. To unlock the 3rd level, Gallo Tower, you have to reach level 40 in the 2nd level. And like those were decently achievable. But I remember being stuck on the Dairy Plant level trying to get to level 60 for a long time. So like it's a pretty early game achievement, but it is really hard, I think.
Okay, so did you find you were just like dying too quickly, or are you just not getting the XP you needed?
Definitely just dying too quickly. Like I distinctly remember I could always get above 10 minutes, and then as soon as it got to like 12, 13 minutes, run would always end. Like it would never go past 13 minutes until I like started getting enough money for the meta progressions. So yeah, like it really does, again, steamroll as you unlock stuff. But yeah, I just remember like being stuck on this level for like a week at least, probably.
Oh wow, that's nuts. Okay.
Yeah, I remember like playing it when I went to my parents' place in Arizona, like playing it on my Steam Deck. I would just like boot it up, play a little bit, and then like 13 minutes later I'd put it down, and my dad would be like, oh yeah, 13 minutes again. Because it was just like clockwork every single time, 13 minutes dead.
Oh no.
But eventually I got past it.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, what was it? I was going to say something I completely forgot. Oh yeah, so, okay, you said it was a dairy plant, right? And that Okay, so I'm guessing the achievement you have to do, like, you don't just, there's not 3 achievements, there's just one for getting 20, 40, and then 60 in their respective levels, right?
Yeah, that's right. And like each of those unlocks the next level. So like this one reached level 60 and Dairy Plant unlocks level 4.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's what I would want out of that. Just because it ends on the Dairy Plant, they should have named the achievement Milk in it.
They should have, but like it's named, the achievement's named after what you unlock. And like that's very common throughout the Steam achievements. So like the easiest one I mentioned was called Hollow Heart. It's because you unlock the passive item Hollow Heart by surviving 1 minute with any character.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think they have to match it to like the in-game achievements pretty much, which is like...
They don't have to, they choose to.
I guess they choose to, yeah, but it does make it a lot easier to sort through 200 plus of them.
Fair. Just wait till we get to my game. So outside of those, what were kind of the most and least fun for you?
So most fun, I said, was one called Mad Groove, which is where you reach minute 31 in the Mad Forest after unlocking the Randomazo.
Okay.
The Randomazo part is not important to what I'm talking about here, but you might have noticed I said reach minute 31 in the Mad Forest. Typically, like I said, runs end at 30 minutes. For most of the stages, once you hit 30 minutes, the Reaper comes to kill you. As soon as he touches you, it's a one-shot, you're dead, your run's over, because you've survived the stage.
Yeah.
But when the Reaper shows up, the timer doesn't actually stop. It keeps going past 30 minutes. So if you assemble your build right and take the right weapons and right passives, you can actually survive against the Reaper. Sometimes you can even kill the Reaper. And what you have to do is get past, you survive a minute with the Reaper attacking you, and you go from minute 30 to 31. As soon as you hit minute 31 and then die, you get the achievement.
Okay.
And I just thought it was a super fun challenge to try and survive longer than you're supposed to, and you know, craft this build that lets you survive against the big bad, the Reaper.
Okay. Interesting. So do you still unlock it if, say, you kill the Reaper before the 31-minute mark?
Yeah, I think if you kill the Reaper, I think it just jumps to 31 minutes or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not too hard to unlock, especially once you like understand the passives and evolving items and stuff like evolving weapons. But it was very fun to try and figure out how you survive past 30 minutes, because I think like the very first time like I hit 30 minutes, I did notice, hey, the timer hasn't stopped, it's going past 30 minutes. I wonder if you can survive to further than 30 minutes. So it was fun working it out for myself.
Okay. Fair. Interesting.
Okay.
Now how about the... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, my least fun.
Yeah, this is one I'm curious about.
Least fun, I went for Extra Bat Country. Which is...
Huh?
The achievement has extra all in caps and then Bat Country.
Okay, then.
It's where you have to reach level 80 in Inverse Mad Forest. Mad Forest is the first level of the game. At a certain point, you can unlock Inverse Mode, which is just like a toggle for all the stages. Like you pick your stage, and then you can activate Inverse Mode for it. And Inverse Mode flips the level upside down, which doesn't really affect anything, but like the obstacles you're used to are now in like the opposite places kind of thing. But more importantly, it doubles enemy health. I think it halves XP and halves your damage, something like that.
Okay.
And so like reaching level 80 in like a regular level 80 is pretty high. It's pretty difficult to get. But reaching level 80 in the inverse mode, where it's much harder and it's much slower, is...
It sounds like a pain.
It's a real slog. I basically, like, I could have picked any of the inverse achievements for this one, because I did not enjoy that part of it. I like when the game's, like, as easy as it is for me now, where I can just kind of cruise through levels. I, like, put a record on and just, like, kind of chill out, zone out, listen to music, and just run around killing things. I don't really want the challenge of Vampire Survivors.
That's fair. That is very fair. Okay. Did you ever enjoy the challenge, or has it just been like in recent times where you're like, I don't like it anymore?
I mean, I must have, right? Because like, I learned Dark Souls.
You are a masochist.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you enjoyed it.
No, probably not. No, I probably like played Dark Souls in spite of the challenge. Yeah. I don't even know, like, even when I was a kid, I don't think I really wanted to play, like, challenging games.
Huh.
Yeah, not really my thing, I guess.
Well, we'll get into the psychology of that later. So what was the rarest one on the list, and do you feel it deserves its position as the rarest?
Okay, so, as of May 2024, the rarest one on the list is one called Extra, Seal 3. Which is where you banish.
So many extras.
I don't know. I think they put extra as like a way of distinguishing achievements that come from like the free updates, possibly. I believe that's it. So yeah, this one's Extra Seal 3. You banish 40 or more weapons in a single run, and only 1.1% of players have this achievement, or I guess had it when I did my notes. Has that changed? Nope, still 1.1.
Okay, and how do you banish a weapon?
Basically, when you level up, you get to choose a weapon to take as your level up gift. You can choose to re-roll the weapons if you don't like any of them. Or if there's a weapon that you really, really don't like, you can choose to banish it so it'll never come up again. And you basically have to banish 40 weapons, which is a lot of weapons. And it's just something that most people aren't going to do in a normal run. I have never banished weapons outside of trying to get the achievements for banishing weapons. And this achievement has only been around for 2-3 weeks at the time of recording.
Oh god.
So the rarest achievement for this game in particular is so badly skewed by the fact that like the new updates come with achievements. It's not really a fair question for this one, but I did think it was very funny that like this is the rarest achievement. It's very, very doable. You just have to like go into a game and banish a bunch of weapons. But like this was only the rarest achievement by like 1%. Like the most recent update added a new weapon. There's an achievement to get that weapon to level 7. Only 2% of players have that one. It's that's something you can do in probably 15 minutes or something, but it relies on people who played the game previously to go back for every new update, and I feel like that's probably a ton of people that aren't doing that. So it is just funny that like when these new achievements get added, it super skews the stats.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I will be encountering the same issue.
I'm sure, yeah.
Okay. That's fair. So what? This is gonna be an interesting one. What was the most memorable for you? And you know why? What's so important about it?
This one was sort of tricky to pick. You know, there's 211 achievements to scroll through. But I said the most memorable one for me was Inlaid Library, which is where you reach level 20 in Mad Forest. It's just the first new stage you unlock. It's the first time I hit level 20 in the first level. It just kind of solidified that, hey, I was improving, I was getting better, because I think, like, at the very start of the game, you really are dying at, like, 4 minutes or something, like, every time. Like, you're slowly unlocking new things. But the first time I hit level 20, unlocked a new map, you know, it meant I was, you know, gaining ground in this fairly daunting game.
Yeah, it really can be, huh?
It really can, yeah. It's very difficult at the start.
Okay, that's awesome. I can understand and appreciate the small feelings of visible progress.
Yeah, just because, and I mean, like I said, like all the later, well, not all the later game stuff, but like all the newest stuff, you know, it's super easy to do at this point, but, you know, at the very...
snap your fingers and it's done.
Exactly, yeah. But the start of the game was so tough, and yeah, it was memorable to make progress in it.
That's awesome. That's so wholesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so is there an achievement or way of playing that, is there an achievement you would remove from the game?
Yeah, actually, I mean, I said no, but honestly, I would probably take out the banish weapons achievements. Like, banishing weapons isn't fun, especially banishing 40. Like, I think I could maybe see like banishing like 5 weapons or something. But I think you have to banish 10, 20, 40 or 20, 30, 40 for like the 3 seal achievements.
Oh god.
And it's just not really fun to basically be leveling up 40 times and just banishing a weapon as your reward. It's not rewarding.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, I would probably take out all the banish weapon achievements.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, they sound like a bit of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, they are.
Is there an action or way of playing that there should be an official achievement for?
In my ideal world, yes.
Okay.
So, because of licensing reasons, the 2 collaborative DLCs, which is the Among Us DLC and the new Contra DLC, those
are such weird collab.
I know.
IPs.
Like, Among Us kind of makes sense. Like, these are 2 like indie games that went viral. But Contra?
Yeah, but Contra?
It's so weird. It's really cool DLC, but yeah, it's just super weird.
Fair.
But because of licensing issues, or licensing reasons, neither of these DLCs have Steam achievements. The developer put out an FAQ, and like one of the questions was, why do these not have any achievements? And it's basically like they don't have 100% control over like the collaborative DLCs. So like the original DLC, 10 years from now, that's still going to be there because the developer fully controls it. But the Among Us DLC or the Contra DLC, 10 years from now, licensing might be different. Like, maybe they get pulled from the stores or something, and they can no longer sell, like, the Among Us DLC. It would just suck to have those achievements be impossible to get for some people who didn't buy the DLC and unlock them early on. So they basically said for any collaborative DLC, no Steam achievements.
I think that's admirable. That makes, that's a nice thing to do.
Oh yeah, it totally makes sense. But yeah, like, that's why I said, like, in my ideal world, I'd like them to have achievements tied to them, because, I'm playing the DLCs anyway. It would just be nice to get more achievements, but obviously I definitely see why there's no achievements for them.
Yeah, that's fair. Then I appreciate that they're not willing to, like, have people suffer years down the line.
Yeah, exactly.
If they wanted all achievements.
Yes, which, I'm sure, especially after this episode, more people will.
After, like, the 4 viewers.
Uh-oh.
No, here's the thing, like, and I want to stress, I appreciate everyone who, comes to the channel, listens to the podcast, or watches any of my videos. Truly, you are irreplaceable, and thank you so much. But I have noticed a significant disparity between the podcast, the art table, soul searching, and especially first impressions videos. Like, I can categorize each one of them as to how something will do, relatively speaking.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just like the timestamp, like these being like
I think
over
so.
an hour.
I think people just don't want the podcast on YouTube in particular, and it hasn't gotten picked up on other platforms quite yet.
Probably, yeah. Like, I'll admit, like, I never watch the podcast on YouTube.
How dare you?
I always listen to it on Podurama, on just a podcast app on my commutes to work. Podcast.
Podurama? What the hell kind of a name is that?
Well, I used to use Google Podcasts, but Google being Google killed it, so I found, like, kind of the closest alternative, which was Podurama. It's just
such a weird name.
Just a good little app. So yeah, like, podcasts for me are not something I watch in video form personally. So they're definitely like commute audio only experiences for me.
And that's very fair.
So maybe I'm not the only one who does that. I'm sure there's definitely some people who like watching their podcasts on YouTube.
Yeah, I like the background noise, and I usually have YouTube open, so I just do that when I'm playing for something like my game, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit.
Fair.
So, are you able to soft lock yourself out of any of these? I don't imagine you can, but I'd be amazed if you could.
No, definitely not. It's a roguelike. If something somehow goes wrong in a run, you just restart.
Yeah, that's fair.
Impossible.
Okay. And how many times? So this question doesn't really fit this format.
No.
How many times roughly do you think you would need to play, like in an ideal world, if everything like went absolutely perfectly? Would you need to play to get all achievements?
Oh man, if everything went absolutely perfectly, what? Like if you could survive to like 30 minutes from like the very first time you opened it?
Yeah.
God. I mean, you gotta unlock like every character. I don't even know how many characters there are. You gotta unlock every character, evolve every weapon. Let me just have a quick look. How many characters? 82. Yeah, I mean, just ballpark. Probably like 250 or something like that.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's assuming each one goes for like half an hour or longer.
Probably.
Potentially.
I know like some of the achievements I go for, like I'm able to like quit out of the stage at like some point, like early once I've done a certain thing. So like most of the weapon evolving ones, like each weapon will have like get this weapon to level 7 and then evolve the weapon. So that's 2 achievements for that weapon. So like theoretically, if I only needed that weapon achievement, I could just make that happen and then quit out and get the achievements. So sometimes you don't have to go all the way to 30 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
But
you heard it here first, folks. John says you don't have to go all the way.
Never pull out for funsies.
Jesus Christ. So, okay. How does the game reward you for getting all achievements? Like, I know you said that each one would give you a specific unlock, but is there like a big grand unlock for getting all of them?
Yes. Yeah, there definitely is.
Oh, okay. Okay.
For getting all of them. I mean, yeah, at one point, yes, you would probably get like the final one, and it would be like the big grand unlock, but now there's all the extra ones that you can get afterwards kind of thing. But yeah, like there is, maybe like very mild spoilers, but there is a final boss fight in Vampire Survivors, and there are achievements tied to getting there and finishing the boss fight. So yeah, it is rewarding the whole way through.
And you're telling me it's not the Reaper?
No. You can unlock the Reaper. I've literally never played as the Reaper. There's so many characters, and I've never tried the Reaper, but I've had him for ages.
Oh, wait. Why have you never tried it?
Just, I don't know, just always kept pushing onto other characters, I guess, and I just never tried it. There's so many. I probably haven't tried, like, a fifth of the characters in the game, I would guess.
You realize what you have to do now, right?
Eventually, one day I do want to unlock and play as, like, every single character. Like, there's still several characters I need to unlock, but they're just not tied to Steam achievements, so I, didn't prioritize them.
Interesting. How many characters are there in the game?
82.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. You can see why.
Too damn many.
I don't know. I'm not going to complain for, what was it now, like $10 for the whole package or whatever?
Yeah.
Not bad,
Jesus
not bad.
Christ, so many. No, but what you have to do is you have to play as the Reaper and listen exclusively to the song Don't Fear the Reaper.
Don't Fear the Reaper over and over. God, I could.
Yes. For half an hour, if not
Oh,
longer.
man.
You realize this is what you have to do. There's no other alternatives.
I don't think I want to do that.
Well, you don't have a choice.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
So, do the achievements feel rewarding, or is it just like a handful that do?
No, I think they all feel rewarding. Like, even like one of the most common ones I mentioned, like the reach level 20 in the first level, feels very rewarding because you unlock a new stage for it, and like every single achievement gives you some kind of unlock. If it's a character, a stage, a new weapon for your other characters to get, or even if it's just like a very small meta progression thing, like you can get a little bit more health or whatever, your characters recover health a little bit faster, that kind of stuff. So yeah, like every achievement feels rewarding, and just getting them all does feel rewarding, I'd say.
Huh, okay, that's good. That's important, especially with 200 of them.
Yes.
Okay. Does it this was like a solo dev, right?
Yes.
Does it feel like he, or I'm assuming now his team, cared about the achievements?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know if it's possible to put like over 200 achievements in a game if you don't care about achievements.
I mean, fair. Does he care about all of them, though?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, every
okay.
single one is tied to an unlock. So I think there has to be like a certain amount of care and thought that goes into every single one, I'd say.
Yeah. Now, do you, I'm assuming, I already know the answer to this one, but do you need to get 100% in the game
No,
to get all achievements?
There's loads of unlockables that don't give achievements. Like I said, like there's still characters I don't have, so no, you don't have to get 100%.
Okay, that's fair. That was striking as a giant pain in the ass.
I'd like to at some point.
Well, then get on it.
I need breaks from it.
But it says the guy who's put in how many hours into Elden Ring.
Yeah, and I'm on a break from it right now until the DLC comes out.
Jesus Christ. The perfect time to play Vampire Survivors.
No, I'm trying to. Yeah, I probably will actually. I'll keep going on.
What
the
were you gonna
Operation
say?
Guns.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I just started a new game, but I didn't want to like get super off topic. So.
Okay.
But yes, I think I probably will. You know, once I've tied up this other game, you know, hopefully there'll be a handful of days until the DLC comes out, and I'll just be like, yeah, I'll check off a couple more Vampire Survivors unlocks.
So, do the achievements feel unique in the bullet heaven genre?
I'm guessing like they probably did at launch, you know, back in early access in December 2021, when it was literally just Vampire Survivors. But I'm guessing now, you know, how many dozens of copycats are there? I'm imagining at least a handful of the copycats also copied the achievements, so I'm guessing probably not anymore. Do they feel unique?
That's very, very fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you use any guides on this? Or any guides you recommend?
I used the wiki page for not achievements specifically, but just how to evolve each weapon, because knowing how to evolve each weapon is pretty crucial to surviving for longer. So like when I first started, had no idea about evolving weapons, didn't know how to do it, never did it. And then once I learned about evolving weapons, survival became a lot easier. So like I pretty much always have that page open when I'm playing the game, even now, because there's just so many combinations to evolve. But for actual achievements, the Steam description and like the in-game unlock menu description is usually all you need to figure out how to unlock the achievement. I think like for some of the vaguer ones, I probably like Googled it, but I don't think I ever used like a very specific "this is your Vampire Survivors achievement guide."
Okay. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, I see. Okay, I'll talk about that more when I talk about my game. Okay, so I'll link that in the description down below as per usual.
Oh,
Has this changed the way you look at the? Don't?
No, I used the fandom wiki and fandom.
Okay, then I will not leave that guide in the description down below.
Put fandom in the wiki or in the description?
No, John, this is a family channel. I have to censor you twice now.
Fuck fandom.
3 times. Okay, so
has this changed the way I look at the game?
I will leave a different guide if I can find one in the description.
Just go on the Steam forums. There's probably something good there.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Yeah, has this changed the way you look at the game?
Man, you think I on Fextra? You don't want to get me started on fandom. Has this changed the way I look?
I wasn't trying to.
Has this changed the way I look at the game? Yeah, definitely. Like, you can't see you can't see most of what the game has to offer if you're not going for all achievements. Basically, like, how many people do you think have done the final boss of this game? I'm guessing very, very small number. You know, you just don't see a lot of it. You don't see all the later stages. You don't see the crazy weapon combinations. You don't see the super OP characters if you're not going for all achievements. So, yeah, it's changed the way I look at it. It's made it easier for me to play. It's made it more fun for me. So no regrets at all.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. And finally, would you recommend other people go for all achievements?
I think if Vampire Survivors is your bullet heaven of choice, definitely. I just think there's so many bullet heavens out there, and everyone does kind of zero in on one they really like. It was Vampire Survivors for me, so it made sense for me to go for all achievements, but I don't really see myself going for all achievements in any other bullet heaven after doing Vampire Survivors, so...
Oh, interesting.
I mean, they're usually hundreds, you know? It's a big commitment.
Yes, I do know.
But yeah, like, if Vampire Survivors is your game of choice, yeah, I think so. If you don't enjoy roguelikes, probably don't go for it.
Fair.
But if you don't enjoy roguelikes, you probably didn't pick up Vampire Survivors in the first place.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Alright, awesome. That will conclude the first, I'm assuming a little more than half, because mine is not going to be as long as this.
Oh, okay.
So thank you everyone for sticking around, and, you know, the usual mid-roll stuff out of the way, major podcast platforms, all the YouTube jazz. With that, we get into my game.
Do I have to ask you, or are you going to intro it?
I mean, I was... Sure, I'll intro it.
I can ask
I'm
you.
leaving that in, by the way.
I'll say, welcome back, hang on. Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen,
leaving all of
everyone
this
between
in.
and beyond. I'm
Jesus.
Taylor, and today we're...
Wait, you're Taylor. What happened to me?
You're John.
Oh, okay.
So Taylor, what game are you going to talk about today?
Well, I don't know, Taylor. I don't know where he went. I'm John.
God, this is why I don't do stuff after work.
Hey, you agreed to this.
I did, yeah.
We do stuff after work like every week now.
I know. I'm so tired.
Then tell me, Eddie.
No, I'm good.
Oh, God, okay.
I'm fine. I just get like a little slightly weirder after work.
Good. That's exactly what I want.
So anyway, Taylor, enough messing around. Self-censored there. What game are you going to talk about today?
I am going to be talking about Soulstone Survivors.
Wow.
Now, Soulstone Survivors, as you can imagine, was not quite... I mean, it is pretty much a clone of Vampire Survivors, but in my opinion, with better graphics, because it's a little more 3D.
Yes.
And it did away with... And this is why I picked it. It did away with the... the weapon fusion system in favor of just a more traditional RPG, like leveling up system with skills. Now, each character can get weapons, and I'll get into that. But each weapon is just associated with different skills, and you can really, I think, build craft a lot better in this game than you can with something like Vampire Survivors, and you just have a lot more control over things. So that is mostly why I gravitated more towards this.
Okay, and I mean, I say it a lot, like, everybody has their bullet heaven they pick and stick to. Like, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would say so. I'm probably gonna get all achievements in others, like later on down the line when Soulstone is finally done, which is gonna take a long time.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know. I definitely, everyone's got their first pick, and I don't know if they'll all stick to just one like you will, but like, I find it's more, people find the one they don't bounce off of. So it's not necessarily that, you know, Soulstone is the best one out there. It's the one that I didn't bounce off of the way I bounced off of Vampire Survivors or like Scarlet Tower.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, like I tried a lot of them because I wanted to make my 7 of the best Vampire Survivors like video, so like I tried a lot of them early on.
And I really like Scarlet Tower, and then I just realized I just enjoy Soulstone so much more.
Soulstone is just fun. It's just a good game.
And the other thing I like about Soulstone is you do not have to go for the full 30 minutes. It is just the speed at which you defeat all 5 waves of bosses.
Right.
So like I've had matches that are only, or like games that are only like 6 minutes long.
Wow, getting through like all 5?
Yeah,
Holy
so
crap.
It really, like you were saying with Vampire Survivors, the power creep is real, and when I talk about achievements, and this is very contextual for this game especially, is the game has changed significantly as it's been updated and more mechanics have been introduced, more characters have been introduced, so the difficulty of some achievements has been drastically changed from what it would have been when I first got them.
I see.
Because they've added in larger amounts of meta progression and different unlocks that would have made that original experience significantly easier.
Right. Yeah, so like Vampire Survivors, like one of the DLC characters, or like most of the DLC characters are just so much stronger than all the base game characters, so I'm imagining it's something similar to that.
So yes and no. So yes, in the sense that there are some overpowered things, but none of these characters are DLC. They were all meant to be in the game originally, and it's just like it's still in early access, so it's slowly releasing. But they've revamped how, especially with the Monkey King update, how curses work, what how the rune system worked and what runes were available, how build crafting worked. Like, it's so much easier now than it was back then because there's more variety, but also more control in how you dictate where your run is going to go, what you can do, and how effective that's going to be.
Interesting. So yeah, it definitely sounds like it is just power creep. Like, you can only keep it, as the developer, you can only keep it along like the same difficulty level for so long before you have to start making things more.
It's a mixture of power creep, but also having more control over where your build goes. Because you can take runes that were like, hey, give me, skills in this category with this tag, so I can start building on that tag or doing this specific type of damage, and then improve how good that type of damage is.
Right.
So I think that's the bigger thing. Like, power creep is absolutely present, but the ability to control where your build is going, unlike Vampire Survivors, where you're just hoping you get the right fusions, has given the player so much more ability than just the initial power creep.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, it's kind of two aspects that are kind of always being added to the game, are always making it a little bit easier, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So how many achievements does Soulstone have as of May 2024?
Hold on to your socks, bud, because it has 326 at the time of this recording.
Oh my god. I think it had like 200 when I first played it, so that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it had like
100.
To be fair, I first got all achievements when it had 251.
Oh man. How many times have you had to go back to it to get all achievements again?
At least 4.
4. Oh man, I've only lost mine once so far, but 4 is rough.
Yeah.
Do you think like you're gonna go back every single time there's an update, or do you think you're gonna let like a couple of updates build up and then go back for a bit?
No.
Okay. Stay on top of it.
Because here's the thing. So, and I'll talk about this. You can very easily categorize a lot of the achievements into character achievements, meaning like there's oh god, hang on. How many characters are in this game?
Can't be more than 82.
Like 15 or something?
Okay. Not more than 82.
No, because they just released a new character with the 10th major. Okay, how many characters are there total? I'm trying to remember this now. I guess they added 2. There's 15 or 16.
Okay.
But there's achievements for getting characters to certain levels. There's achievements for getting characters to the max rune level, which is, or like ascension. You can ascend them at 170. There's achievements for getting their weapons, like unlocking new weapons, unlocking all of their weapons. So, when you have, like, say, I think it's like 10 to 12, maybe even 15 achievements per character that all fall into that character category, that's over half of their achievements just gone.
Right.
So, yeah, it's weird in how you can categorize and break it down. And that means when a new character drops, there's like 10, 15, but I can focus on just that character using, again, this easier system and just knock out that one character and be done with it.
Okay. Do you know, like, off the top of your head, like, how long it takes you, like, each update to, like, get all the new achievements?
It does get faster and faster and faster.
Okay.
Because, again, that power creep is there, that control is there, and as you unlock characters and level up those characters, you unlock runes, which add to the meta progression and let you really, again, build craft. So this last one only took me, like, I want to say about 5 hours, maybe, probably less.
Okay, I mean, that's still not an insubstantial amount of time.
No, but if I pop it in for, like, an hour here, get to level 120, but then the progression really slows down after that 120. Because so for example, I went from level 1 to level 40, from level 40 to level 120, from level 120 to 140 in what was like 3-4 runs.
Holy crap!
Like, yeah, and it used to be like, it used to take so much longer to level. It was insane.
Yeah, I bet like if I boot mine up, I think they're all like level 4 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is obviously not your first time playing it.
No, God, no. I first played in January of 2019, apparently.
29
Oh, no, hang on.
can't be. Vampire Survivors came out December 2021.
Oh, yeah, not 2019. You know, it was January 19th, like 2022 or something.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
I can't remember. It tells me when I tell you what, I'll boot up the game, it'll tell me. But also the game retails for $12.99 Canadian or your regional equivalent.
Okay, so it's definitely pricier than Vampire Survivors, but it does look a lot nicer than Vampire Survivors.
I also got significantly more time out of it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I'm very curious.
Sorry, January 19th, 2023 is when this save file was created.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense because Vampire Survivors like popped off like mid 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm imagining this game probably did not exist before Vampire Survivors started blowing up.
Not that I'm aware of.
I'm guessing most of them didn't.
Fair.
Not even like in a people trying to cash in on the trend kind of thing, but more like people not even knowing the genre existed before it blew up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so have you returned to the game since getting all achievements?
Nope.
No plans to until there's new updates?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I play when it comes out, and then I leave it for a while, and that's it.
Okay. I mean, there's so many other games, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, now, admittedly, before there was no real reason to play in between updates. Now they have added in a new meta progression system of upgrading weapons using your resources that you find in every map, which did not exist before. It used to just be for crafting. So there is more of a reason to go back now, but it's not enough reason for me to stay in the game.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. This is one I'm very curious about. How long did it take you to get all achievements?
Well, obviously time has changed, but as of right now, it is 132.2 hours.
Holy crap.
That's why I was so surprised by 55.
Oh my god, that's a long time. Do you feel like you've got your $12 worth, Taylor?
I'm gonna say yeah. You know, I think it's fair.
Sounds like 132 hours. Is that...
And add, like another 3 or 4 hours every time a new character drops.
That's got to be more time than you've got in some Dark Souls games.
Oh, probably.
That probably puts that to like one of your top 5 most played games, I would assume.
Oh, I don't know how to check that, but probably.
I think you can check it in your Steam library, but...
I'll do that right now, then.
Yeah, if you go to library and then sort by like time played, I think.
Hang on. Okay, it's just loading up now. Okay, so all games, playtime. Okay. It goes in order from, most to least for, we'll say the top 10. Cookie Clicker, Vindictus, Dark Souls 3, Insanity Clicker, so, discount the 2 clickers. Yeah. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Elden Ring, Stardew Valley, Monster Hunter, Dark Souls 2, then Soulstone Survivors. How many is that?
Definitely not top 5, actually. Like, just outside, I think.
8, 9. Soulstone Survivors is the number 10 slot.
Wow. Well,
even Scholar of the First Sin has more playtime at 140.2 hours.
At least Dark Souls 2 is above it.
Not for too much longer.
Crap. Quick, we need to play Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin again.
Kill me.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay, so we already briefly mentioned your how long to beat, or the how long to beat stats for this game with a whopping, was it 23, 26 people surveyed?
27 people surveyed.
Okay.
9 in the completion category, where it's saying the average is 60 hours. But again, I don't know when this was taken, because it would be drastically changed by if there have been more achievements since then, and especially when or what update this was done on as to how the game speed felt, because it used to take me like, there is an achievement for beating the game in under 10 minutes because it used to just take you longer to beat the game, and now, like I said, I can do it in 7 to 8 average.
Right. Yeah, I'm guessing it's just people who got all achievements after it had been out for like 2 months, and there were probably like 30 achievements or whatever, and they're like, yeah, better stick my stats on there, a whopping 6 hours. And that's just like completely messing with the stats. So yeah, that's I don't know, it's kind of an aspect we haven't seen with a lot of games we cover, where like the stats really do change over time.
Well, absolutely. And I mean, we don't cover many, like, I guess, evolving games or like current games that are being updated. We cover games that are finished.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, this is probably like the first time we've ever talked about early access games, where like they've changed so much from the time they were first available to now. You're right, most of the games we play are usually pretty complete, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay.
Okay, so let's get into the hardest and easiest achievements.
So this one is, again, hard to kind of determine because of all the updates, but
Right.
I'm going to say the easiest achievement, just in general, was the Wise 1, because there's Wise 2, 3, 4, whatever, and that is just reach level 5 in a single match. Because technically, it's not an auto, it's not a given, it's just if you die right away without really attacking, because you can set auto attack or you can just set manual attack, you could just do it without leveling.
Okay. Okay. But like if you're playing with half a brain cell, you're almost certainly gonna hit level 5.
Oh, like a literal infant could, like a newborn popped out, could just move the controller, as long as you set auto attack, you're fine.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense why that would be the easiest.
As for hardest, this one was difficult to, again, determine, but I'm going to go with the Ascended... Oh god, who do I have the most problem with? I think Chaos Walker.
This is a class, I assume?
Yeah,
Okay.
so the classes go... hang on, I gotta look them all. Sentinel, Spellblade, Paladin, Arcane Warrior, Pyromancer, and Engineer, Beastmaster, Houndmaster, 2 different, Chaos Walker, Death Knight, Legionnaire, Assassin, Elementalists, Monkey King. Did I say Monkey King already?
No.
Okay, and Necromancer.
Necromancer is
and
like...
Barbarian.
Okay. Barbarian's like the first one, right?
Yeah, Barbarian's the first one.
Is Necromancer like new? Because that sounds like...
No, Necromancer was around for a while.
Okay.
He came around the same time that Death Knight did.
Okay, because like that sounds like quite a traditional character compared to like Monkey King.
Yeah, Monkey King and Engineer were both the newer ones.
Okay. So the...
Now, the Ascended is the one where you have to get the character overall to level 170. So, here's the thing. When I say get level 5 in a single match, that means, like, level 5 in the match. Like, your match experience level, whatever, determines how many skills you get. Because you get an option of 3 skills every level up.
Right.
Now, there is the meta progression levels, which, will go through all of your matches. And that is the one you need to get to 170. So it's kind of, I don't really have a good way of distinguishing. I'll call it prestige, because they call it prestige. So your prestige level is the meta progression. Your regular level is the one during the match.
Yeah, so it's like even if like your prestige level was like 120, when you press start with that character, you're still like level 1 in game.
Yeah, your match level, your match level 1.
Yeah, so you just have to hit match level 5.
Yeah, okay. And then the hardest is hitting prestige level 170, for me at least, with the Chaos Walker, because that class just, I don't know, the playstyle doesn't really vibe with me, and the skills they have weren't my favorite. But you can kind of get around that, but I'll explain that more later.
Okay, so it's just the character you didn't super gel with kind of thing. Okay. So, outside of those 2, what were the most and least fun for you?
The most fun, I would have to say, is probably the Ascended Necromancer. Now, I only say that because this happened like a long time ago, before a lot of the updates, and it was my first ever Ascended class. I, for some reason, really gravitated towards the Necromancer, partly because it was one of the only summon classes, or like summoning classes, and I just really appreciated the very laid-back playstyle of not having to worry about aiming and just summoning everything.
Yeah, summoning was cool.
Yeah. So I really appreciated having just a massive army at my disposal. That was before they got their like prestige power. No, sorry, they did have their prestige powers, which I'll get into. Now the least fun. I didn't really enjoy the Ascended Pyromancer because, again, I just didn't gel very much with the Pyromancer, and their fire is not a useful element in this game.
Oh, okay.
If you before the Monkey King update really sucked, and so it was just such a grind before that update to get the Pyromancer to go anywhere.
Yeah, that sounds painful if like the character isn't good and you're not enjoying the playstyle to keep grinding it up levels.
Yeah, like the fire skills were just pretty garbage.
Jeez. Okay, yeah, that makes sense for not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I imagine this question's probably going to be kind of similar to Vampire Survivors, but what was the rarest one on the list? And is it the new update?
Yes. It is the new update, you know, the Ascended Monkey King, the Ascended Engineer, those are the two newest ones. However, outside of those, the rarest is pretty much the Ascended for almost every single class. So
okay.
in terms of most rare to least rare, and this was before the latest two characters. So all these other characters existed at the same time when this update came out for, again, hitting level 170. Goes Elementalist, Assassin, Legionnaire, Death Knight, Chaos Walker, Houndmaster, Beastmaster, Pyromancer, which is super strange to me, Arcane Warrior, Paladin, Spellblade, Sentinel, and finally, where's Necromancer? And Necromancer, which is way higher than all of the others.
Well, Necromancer is
and Barbarian
popular.
is higher than that. So Barbarian is technically the most popular because I think, you know, it's like the first class that everyone plays.
Yes, that makes sense. Probably.
Also, it's pretty powerful.
Okay, yeah, and I assume, you know, it's the one people are most comfortable with, and probably the one they just played as the most, because it is like the first one you ever play as.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So the rarest class one was obviously the Monkey King, I
Technically
guess.
the Elementalist, which I kind of don't understand because... Okay, so this is where I gotta get into each character having their own unique abilities. So every character has a pool of skills they can pull from, and you can widen that pool or shrink it as much as you want to even pull from other characters like skill pools. But they also all have 4 different weapons you can use, which will give them like 2 skills, not automatically, but it'll give access to those 2 skills and really help dictate your playstyle. So you can really define the character the way you want them to, and especially with the new update, it is a lot easier to do that. Now the Elementalist's like special skill is gathering different elements, because Elementalist, and just having different effects based on them. So like fire, I think like shoots fire out around you, water does the same thing, stone gives you a stone barrier, lightning summons dogs. So like it's got a good diversity to it, but I think the problem is it's almost too diverse, so you can't really specialize into the one type of damage that you want to do to really like make the build good. But I had so much more trouble with, say, the Pyromancer, who just God, I can't remember. I think there was just like more fire or like small totems or something.
Right.
So I don't feel like it deserves its position as the rarest, but I kind of understand that if it's not people's cup of tea, and if it's almost too diverse as a build, it could cause an issue.
Okay. Yeah. It's just the one people did the latest, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the most memorable achievement for you?
So I'm gonna stick with the Ascended Necromancer, because again, just the hours upon hours of grinding I did with the Necromancer to get him to 170 was such a pain, but I don't want to say every second of it, because it was a slog, but just hitting that first one, and especially too, when you hit level 170, you get all the runes, you unlock a new costume for them.
Ooh.
So I'll maybe throw up a couple on screen, just like the character select screen. And the costumes look so good.
Yeah.
So just seeing that visible change in the character felt really, really nice.
Yeah, that would feel very rewarding, I think. Do you can you like ballpark off the top of your head how long it took you to like get that first Ascended one?
Oh god, no, I have no idea. At least 7 hours, maybe 8 hours, maybe.
Okay.
Like from the time that I first played him to the time that I finally got it. So I wasn't playing constantly for 7-8 hours this one character, but it was trying to figure out, you know, because I had a problem where I would focus on one character for a bit, then move to another character, but I realized I have to focus one and just get their playstyle down, get them to 170, and then move on.
I see.
Because all of these characters have very different playstyles.
Right, so you just kind of need to like lock into one playstyle and like master that, and then move on once you're done with it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Out of the 300 and however many, 26, is there any of those that you would take out of the game?
See, I don't know. I've thought about this a few times, and I'm just like, none of them are overly offensive by any means.
That's promising. Out of 300,
because a lot of them are again just those character achievements, or like unlock the new weapon or do this or that, and even the seasonal achievements like fighting the abominable snowman or fighting Cupid, which did start out as seasonal events, are now just secret bosses attached to certain maps that you can still unlock at any time.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So they didn't time restrict anything based on the seasons, and everything is always accessible to every single player.
That's fantastic.
So I think, honestly, it's very, like, nothing's super amazing per se in the achievements, but nothing's overly offensive either. It is just a bit of a time investment, which has only been getting easier since the game released.
Right.
So there's nothing that I feel needs to be removed, because you can unlock everything, I would say, in a relatively short time frame nowadays.
Okay, that sounds very positive, that there's nothing to take out. Is there any action or way of playing that you think there should be an achievement for?
Okay, so this is kind of weird, but every character has 4 weapons, which you have, like, your gray, green, blue, purple, just like the skill rarities, but there's also like the legendary, the gold skill rarity, and I was really expecting characters to get a legendary weapon.
Right.
But they never did.
Oh.
And I'm like, and then with this latest update 10, the engineer, they just introduced an achievement for every character. Get every weapon for this one character, and as long as you have all 4, you get that achievement. I'm just like, where's my gold weapon? Where's my legendary?
Oh, so they've got...
Where is it?
They've got weapons for all the other rarities, but just not the gold one.
Yeah, and I was thinking, okay, I get it. Balancing skills, all that's going to take a while, but I'm fine to wait on that.
Yeah.
So I really wanted those legendary weapons, because it feels like if you're going to give me a new skin, like a new armor, give me a new weapon to go along with that. Even if I gotta wait a long time, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I want there to be an ascended weapon to kind of match my armor, but now they've introduced this weapon upgrade system where you can just make any of your weapons, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth, just with increasing resource costs.
Right.
So, I don't know. I wish that was in the game.
I guess, like, at the time of recording, it is still in early access. Like, it's
gonna be for a while, I imagine.
You think? Yeah. Like, it's still...
Well, they've got 22 character slots total, and I think they want to fill out all of those character slots before going 1.0.
Okay, so, like, they might add gold weapons, maybe not, who knows, but, like, it's still changing.
There's still a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you able to softlock yourself out of any achievements? I'd be surprised.
Thankfully, no.
Okay, good. Good old roguelikes.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you...
Now, for the record, I like to call them arena survivors, or like survival, as opposed to bullet heavens, just because, especially, and this was more just a me thing, there are a lot of characters in, say, this game and many other vampire survivor likes that don't use ranged weapons.
Right.
So the title bullet heaven, though applicable to vampire survivors, feels misleading when you look at the wider genre.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, there's several titles you can go for. I just like the sound of bullet heaven, but like I was calling them vampires survivors likes for the longest time.
Which is just such a, it just rolls off the tongue.
It is surprising that like this is a very prominent genre and it's never really got like a proper title. Like Souls-like, Metroidvania, these are like super well known and like the only title you're giving to like these genres, but then this one just doesn't really have anything. Or it has too many things.
Yeah, I think Bullet Heaven or Arena Survival are both reasonable titles.
They are, but like they're just not widely agreed on. It's just interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it is fair.
Okay, I don't remember how you phrased this question for mine, but how many times do you need to play the game to get all achievements?
Okay, so here's the weird thing. If you were able to get like the perfect run, so what I mean by that is like with this one, you have to play like the base match or whatever, and then you can just like quit out and you're done, or you can go into endless mode, which will give you the same difficulty but on a different map, so you can farm resources, or you can go into overlord mode, which gives you harder enemies every time,
right?
And just more XP. So in theory, if you started from absolute level 1 and you somehow made it to like overlord 10 or 20 or whatever, I usually done overlord 6 by the way,
okay,
to make it to 170 with each character every time.
Whoa.
You'd have to do at least 16 runs there, but then you also have to do curse levels. Now, curse levels are additional modifiers, usually percentage-based, sometimes like adding in things to the game. You have to do a curse modifier of 1 for the first map, curse modifier of 2 for the second map, 3 for the third, so on and so forth. So that is... And you have to unlock level 1, then level 2, then level 3 by replaying the map over and over again. So that's at least 1, 3, 5... Oh god, no wait. So that'd be 1... Yeah, then 3, then 6, then 10, then 15, then 21, plus the original 16. So at least 37, plus however long it took you to get the resources, which the engineer does have a skill to unlock more resources, but I don't know what the resource drop rate is. I'm gonna say 100. Like, if you had the absolute perfect conditions where nothing went wrong whatsoever.
Okay. And obviously, you have to play it a lot more than 100, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But yeah, like bare minimum 100, roughly.
And like there's even some achievements where you have to speed run it. It's like,
oh, okay.
There's achievements for beating a match in under 10 minutes, or there's an achievement for each individual character for beating a map in under 12 minutes.
Okay. So yeah, multiple times, many times, many times.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, too many times.
Makes sense. Does the game reward you for getting all achievements?
Not quite. So the achievements themselves do come with some unlocks here and there, but it's usually unlocking the thing gives you the achievement, so it's not quite, I guess it's not even, the achievement doesn't do it for you, it's just doing the thing gives you the achievement as per usual, so unfortunately, no.
Okay. I guess, related, do they feel rewarding to get?
Yeah, I would say the Ascended achievements, again, because especially when you see that change in the armor, you see that visual change, and you see, when you go back and you play a character for like, that you played at level 1, and you play them again at level 170, the change is night and day with how quickly you're able to mow everything down, how quickly you're able to do things. So in that regard, yes, but the achievements themselves, some of them are just kind of like, again, they're so like 5 out of 10. They're not offensive, but they're not, just
not amazing.
Yeah, they're not like, I wouldn't write home about any of them really.
Okay. So I guess also related to that, does it feel like the devs cared about the achievements?
In a sense, yeah. Like there's nothing overly offensive. They made sure they're always accessible even for the seasonal events.
Yes.
And they've taken the time to put in achievements for every single character. But give me my legendary weapons.
You can give feedback, right? It's early access. Give feedback. Say you want legendary weapons.
But I don't want to like I don't want to be the toxic person who's like, just yelling at devs, hey, do this.
Well,
I might throw in a suggestion like, hey, it would be great if you could add legendary weapons, but I understand balancing them for 16 and then an ever-growing roster of more characters to add in more skills would just be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, I'm sure you could frame it as a suggestion rather than toxicity.
Yeah, and I only say that because, especially this dev team, after they rolled out the Monkey King update, they made a lot of changes to the core game, and they got so much hate that they took away the update. They undid it or whatever.
Really?
But they made the update available in beta if you still wanted to play it.
Ooh, interesting. Wow, they had to like roll it back, I guess.
Yeah, so that's the word. They rolled it back. but then they made other changes to kind of listen to what the community wanted and have reinstated the update and have done another update since then. But it's just like, this is clearly a vocal community and not always in a positive manner.
Yeah,
At least I don't.
very passionate, it sounds like.
So I don't want to add to that kind of negativity by saying, hey, here's something else I want you to change about the game. I want to focus on what is there, not what is missing.
Okay, that's very understandable.
I do still want legendary weapons, but not to the point where I'm willing to, like, comment or harass the devs. They have made a fantastic game that I have spent far too much time in and will continue to do so. So I want that to be the message coming out of this, not where the hell are my weapons.
Maybe they'll listen to this episode. Tag them in the tweet.
Oh god. We'll see.
Be like, look, I got all achievements. You proud of me?
Right?
Um,
Notice me, Daddy.
oh god.
Wait, hang on. I gotta look up the developer's name. Okay, keep going.
Do the achievements require you to get 100% in the game?
Technically, yes, if you're thinking like, okay, getting to... You can go over 170, so like that's kind of a gray area, but like getting to 170, getting all the runes, getting all the weapons, from that standpoint, yes, but it's not overly hard, it's just a time investment.
Okay. Fair. Do the achievements feel unique in the genre of arena survivors?
In the sense that they don't, have weapon fusions and things, yes, but a lot of the arena survivals don't anymore.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, not really. But I admit I have not encountered a arena survival that does things quite the same way with the kind of just more RPG style level up mechanics.
Right. That's good.
That give you different skills. So like in a sense, like on the barest thread, yes, but for the most part, it is pretty normal.
Okay. Kind of to be expected in this genre now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Did you use any guides when you were getting all achievements?
I did not. I just kind of went for
Whoa.
it. I did try to look up, like how to farm currency faster and stuff, but basically, all I can tell you and all the internet will tell you is just do the Overlord, the one that makes it more difficult every time, and just go as far as you can, die, do it again.
Okay.
I could get to Overlord 20 in about, or sorry, not Overlord 20, Overlord 6 in like 20-ish minutes, and that gives you a lot of currency, so like you'll get there in a reasonable time nowadays.
Okay. That might be a first. No guides.
Yeah, for me, yeah, possibly.
Has this changed the way you look at the game now?
Not really. Like it, especially I feel like it's hard to look at a bullet heaven or an arena survival in any way. Just then, I am going to invest time in this.
Yeah.
And when it's done, fantastic. But it's nothing like groundbreaking. There's no real story behind it.
Right. I assume you don't regret getting all achievements in this one because you kept going when it got updates.
Yeah, not at all. I really enjoy the classes. I really enjoy the builds, and it's for me a great podcast game because
Yes.
I have recently gotten to Ghost of Tsushima for PC.
Hell yeah.
And that has been life-consuming.
Good.
But the problem with that one, and it's not even a problem with the game, it's a problem with me, is I want to listen to something while playing it, but I can't bring myself to do it because I want to enjoy the ambiance of the game,
Yeah.
the story of the game.
Yeah.
And I'm just, my YouTube backlog is building, so I need something when I want to just kind of knock out some YouTube videos to play or interact with. And Vampire Survivors, Jesus Christ, Soulstone Survivors has just been the perfect answer for that so many times. Or like, I want to play for 20 minutes before Kat wakes up in the morning, I'll pop in Soulstone, do a few runs, and then I'm done.
Yeah, that's why I will never complain about like poor soundtracks for these kinds of games, because like after the first 20 minutes, I'm not listening to that soundtrack. Like I'm, putting on a record, or I'm like watching YouTube or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are the perfect podcast games. Would you recommend other people go for all achievements in this one?
This one's tough because normally I would say like, yeah, go for it. But for this one, I'm going to say buy the game, pick it up. It's cheap. Play it in your spare time. And if you get it, great. If you don't worry about it. Like, don't actively go out of your way for it. Just treat it like a podcast game. Treat it like a chill time. And I think you'll have a much better experience that way than if you intentionally go for all achievements right out the gate.
That makes sense. Like, especially given like your time investment in this one compared to mine and Vampire Survivors, I feel like one of them is a bit of an easier recommend over the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
130 hours is not insignificant.
I think it's +2. It depends if you're like me, where you prefer build crafting and more control versus the randomness of Vampire Survivors and weapon fusion.
Right.
So I think it depends on your tolerance and need for, or desire for control and how your character progresses and how the match progresses.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because by the end of it, I could figure out, okay, this is the build I'm going for, get it, and then just, again, absolutely knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
So that will do it for us, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. John, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Again, I've been looking forward to doing this episode in particular for a while, so thank you for having me on.
It's an ever-changing one,
yes.
An ever-elusive one, as it were.
Yeah, it is.
So, if you've played either of these games, which I'm sure you've probably played Vampire Survivors, let us know your thoughts down in the description below, and we'll see kind of, what happens. And let us know if you've even thought about getting all achievements, and kind of what you think about our very different experiences with these games.
Or if this podcast has inspired you to get all achievements in either of these games, or maybe your own, bullet heaven, arena survival of choice.
Then let us know about that too, because I'd be really curious to see if any of you are crazy enough to do that based on one podcast.
That would be amazing.
I'll be flattered. I'll be absolutely blown away. Y'all crazy. All right, and with that all being said, we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.